The SEAL gym was loud, chaotic, and unforgiving, but the janitor sweeping the floor moved through it like a ghost. Evelyn Harper never spoke, never reacted, until a young SEAL shoved her broom and laughed in her face. Then her collar shifted, revealing a forbidden tattoo that froze the entire room, and summoned a commander. The Naval Amphibious Base Gym was built for warriors. Rows of steel weights, sandbags, and mats stained with hours of sweat. Operators shouted over thundering music, testing their limits every morning. Yet right in the middle of all that relentless motion, one person moved with silent purpose. Evelyn Harper, a young janitor, barely 25, with a calm expression and steady hands. She swept the wrestling mats long before sunrise, each stroke deliberate, as if preserving something sacred. No headphones, no chatter, no wasted movements. Just quiet focus. The SEALs barely noticed her. To them, she was background noise, another civilian hire who cleaned up after their chaos. But there was something different about her presence. A quiet confidence beneath the surface. A strange steadiness in her pale green eyes, like she was constantly watching something only she could see. No one suspected this silent janitor was anything more than she appeared. They were wrong. That morning, Petty Officer Reed stormed across the gym floor, dripping sweat and frustration. Young, muscular, and painfully eager to prove himself, Reed carried himself like the room belonged to him. And anyone standing in his way, they were obstacles. "Hey, move it, janitor," he barked. Evelyn didn't turn. She kept sweeping, her motions even unwavering. Reed's irritation sharpened. "I said move. We need the mat for a mission run." Still nothing. He stepped closer. Too close. His shadow swallowed Evelyn, but she didn't flinch. The quiet bothered him. He wasn't used to being ignored. SEALs watched with smirks, ready for a show. "You deaf or something?" he snapped. "Get your broom and go clean a bathroom." Finally, Evelyn paused. She lifted her head, and for a moment Reed found himself staring into eyes that did not match her job or her age. Calm, controlled, far too steady. But she said nothing. Her silence infuriated him more than an insult could. Reed jabbed the broom handle. "You don't understand how this works. We give the orders here." Then he shoved it. Hard. The broom clattered against the concrete, the crack echoing through the gym. It was a tiny sound, but Evelyn's jaw tightened almost invisibly. Not in fear, but in something older, deeper. Reed grinned, thinking he'd won. But something had just shifted in the air. Something only one man across the gym noticed. Evelyn knelt to retrieve the broom, slow and controlled. As she leaned forward, her collar slid just enough to expose the back of her neck. A tattoo, not decorative, not modern, sharp black lines. A coiled sea serpent wrapped around a trident. Reed didn't notice. But Master Chief Grant, standing across the gym with a towel around his neck, did. His eyes narrowed instantly. His heartbeat stumbled. He knew that symbol. He'd seen it only once in a classified binder that most operators didn't even know existed. A symbol belonging to units that shouldn't exist anymore. Units that were erased from history. Grant straightened. The gym noise faded behind him, replaced by a ringing in his ears. That mark, it wasn't possible. It couldn't be real. Yet there it was on a janitor's neck. A symbol of a ghost. A legend. Evelyn stood, the broom in her hand, unaware of the seismic shift she had triggered. Grant took a slow step forward, studying her with reverent disbelief. Something enormous was unfolding, and Reed had no idea the storm he'd just unleashed. Grant had trained thousands of SEALs. He had seen arrogance, discipline, fearlessness, but nothing shook him like that tattoo, because that insignia belonged to a unit older than the SEALs themselves. The original UDTs, frogmen who swam into enemy waters before America admitted women, were allowed near combat. And the Serpent Trident variant? That belonged to Mako Unit, a classified 3-woman deep reconnaissance team from the Korean War. A team the Navy pretended never existed, all supposed to be dead. Grant's breath caught. He wasn't looking at a janitor. He was looking at history, a living secret, and Reed was still mocking her. Grant clenched his fists. He dismissed the surrounding operators with a glare that made them scatter instantly. Hit the showers. Now. Confused, they obeyed. When the room cleared, Grant approached Evelyn slowly, carefully, as if approaching a bomb that might go off at the wrong word. But Evelyn didn't react. She simply resumed sweeping. Grant's voice was barely a whisper. It can't be. He needed confirmation, and only one man had the clearance to give it. Grant stepped aside and dialed Commander Brooks with trembling fingers. Sir, you need to come to the SEAL gym immediately. Brooks sounded puzzled. Grant, what's going on? It's about the janitor. Grant, is this a joke? No, sir. Grant's voice dropped to a whisper. She has an NCDU Mako tattoo. The silence on the other end was instant and heavy. Brooks's chair scraped violently. He logged into the secure naval archive, typing Evelyn Harper's name. At first, nothing strange. Basic service record dated decades before she was even born. But then, one redacted file surfaced. Operation MCO, Sole Survivor. Classified Addendum X-Ray 7. A file so restricted even he couldn't open it. Brooks's face drained of color. I'm coming, he said. Don't let her leave. Within minutes, Marines were following him to the gym. History was waking up. Reed had not learned his lesson. He returned from the showers, still annoyed that a janitor of all people had embarrassed him. He marched toward Evelyn again, plastering on a cruel smirk. You really should be careful, old lady, he mocked. Wouldn't want you to hurt yourself with all that dust. Grant took a step forward, but Evelyn subtly raised a hand, stopping him. Reed wasn't done. Maybe we should get you checked into The gym doors slammed open. Everyone froze. Commander Brooks entered with 2 Marine guards flanking him. Their gloves glowed white against their dress blues. Behind them, the command vehicle still flashed outside. Reed's smug expression vanished. Brooks didn't look at him. He walked straight to Evelyn Harper. And then, before anyone could understand what was happening, the commander snapped to attention and delivered a crisp, perfect salute, a salute reserved for legends. The Marines followed suit. Gasps rippled through the gym. Brooks lowered a salute with reverence. Ms. Harper, he said loudly, ensuring every operator heard, I apologize for the disrespect shown to you today. He turned toward the stunned SEALs. This woman is not just a janitor. She is a decorated UDT operative and the sole survivor of Operation Mako, one of the most dangerous underwater missions in naval history. Reed's legs nearly buckled. Evelyn stood silently as the gym blurred into memories. Icy Korean waters, a moonless night, and 2 teammates swimming beside her into a hostile harbor lined with mines. There were no medals, no recognition, only a small, crude tattoo given by a chief who said, No one will know what you do, but we will remember. Her unit never returned. Only she survived, crawling onto the frozen beach hours later, half conscious, her mission complete. She had buried her past, choosing peace over glory. The world moved on. She simply wanted to sweep floors, not relive the ghosts she carried. The fallout was immediate. Reed stood pale and trembling, his arrogance shattered. Brooks stepped toward him, tore the golden trident insignia from his uniform, and let it fall at Evelyn's face. You do not deserve to wear this, the commander said. Reed swallowed hard, shame burning across his face. Later that week, he approached Evelyn with sincere eyes. Miss Harper, I'm sorry. Truly. She studied him, then nodded gently. Be better tomorrow than you were today, son. As she walked away, she paused. The trident pin still lay on the floor where it had fallen. She did not pick it up. Instead, she swept a clean circle of dust around it, a quiet sign of forgiveness and a reminder, respect isn't earned by rank. It's earned by character. And in that silent gesture, the entire gym understood who Evelyn Harper truly was. A legend hiding in plain sight. Evelyn stood silently as the gym blurred into memories. Icy Korean waters, a moonless night, and 2 teammates swimming beside her into a hostile harbor lined with mines. There were no medals, no recognition, only a small, crude tattoo given by a chief who said, No one will know what you do, but we will remember. Her unit never returned. Only she survived, crawling onto the frozen beach hours later, half conscious, her mission complete. She had buried her past, choosing peace over glory. The world moved on. She simply wanted to sweep floors, not relive the ghosts she carried. The fallout was immediate. Reed stood pale and trembling, his arrogance shattered. Brooks stepped toward him, tore the golden trident insignia from his uniform, and let it fall at Evelyn's feet. "You do not deserve to wear this," the commander said. Reed swallowed hard, shame burning across his face. Later that week, he approached Evelyn with sincere eyes. "Miss Harper, I'm sorry. Truly." She studied him, then nodded gently. "Be better tomorrow than you were today, son." As she walked away, she paused. The trident pin still lay on the floor where it had fallen. She did not pick it up. Instead, she swept a clean circle of dust around it, a quiet sign of forgiveness and a reminder: respect isn't earned by rank. It's earned by character. And in that silent gesture, the entire gym understood who Evelyn Harper truly was. A legend hiding in plain sight.